Chances are you've heard the term Dungeons and Dragons most recently in the famous Netflix show Stranger Things. If you've been planning to get into this game that played a pivotal role in defeating the monster and saving the town of Hawkins, we have got you covered. Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D for short, is a role-playing game based on adventuring and exploring a world built on the players' collective imagination. The players guide their characters through obstacles and confrontations in a world of limitless possibilities based purely on their choices. This quick video will guide you through a basic setup and hopefully get you started on your way. 1. A group of 4 or more players. One of them will be the narrator of the game. This video is aimed at beginners, so you can start off even if you've never played before. 2. A notepad to record the basic actions you execute. It's also really fun to get an action figure or any other game piece to depict your character while you adventure in the setting of your choice. 3. You will need a predetermined scenario with instructions across the various stages and a dice roller that is specific to the D&D format. We've included links to an easy scenario and a dice roller in the description, so you can get playing even remotely over a video chat with your friends. And last but certainly not least, you'll need to bring along your imagination and a sense of adventure. If you like being in charge of things, you might be the right choice for being the Dungeon Master, who is basically the director, scriptwriter, storyteller and producer of the game. The Dungeon Master maintains the environment of adventure while also role-playing inhabitants that guide the characters across the land. Your narrative leads the characters to fame, glory, and some very interesting fights, so be imaginative. You read out the scenario, interact with the players, take into account the dice roll values, and decide the outcome of the players' actions. The DM's main role is to urge players to use their abilities in the best way possible. On the other side of things, you have the player characters. Remember the minifigures we mentioned? This is you now. You explore lost ruins, hunt down outlaws, and battle monsters. The characters form a party that interacts in all possible ways with the inhabitants and each other. Together they must band up to solve dilemmas, engage in battles, and gather treasure and knowledge as they move forward. Each character is attributed 6 mental and physical factors. We have provided a pre-made character sheet to help you get started right away. You can always build your own character when you feel comfortable enough with the rules. Reading extensively online, you will come across various rules for D&D, and this is the reason they have an entire collection of handbooks, rulebooks, and quite frankly, they are intimidating. But here's a little secret. You don't need to know all the rules to start playing. Truth be told, you can get to playing with a basic knowledge, and the rules don't restrict you, rather they enable you to play more freely. The aim of the game is not to end up as a winner, but to cooperate with one another to reach the end of your adventure. While judging an action, don't use all of the character traits too strongly. Simplify the actions to the roll of 1 dice and an added bonus of the character trait. And remember, you can always check the rules after the game rather than spend time during the game losing the flow. The DM can make it up slightly as you proceed through the game. We simplified the gameplay for you to grasp the basics of it. As the characters explore the world around them, they may encounter various scenarios or obstacles. The players must decide what they want to do in each scenario and describe their actions to the DM, who in turn tells the players the outcome of the action based on a roll of the dice. Put simply, the DM decides a scale of success or failure of an action in a given situation based on a roll between 1 to 20. So when you roll a d20 or a 20-sided die, you take the result of the roll and add the relevant modifier. Then the DM tells you whether you succeeded or failed based on the total tally. You may be in a situation where you need to fight a monster. If you choose to attack the monster with a weapon, you start by rolling the d20. You then add any relevant modifiers. The DM will determine whether your attack resulted in a hit or a miss. If your attack hits, you roll another die to calculate the amount of damage. Players may also be able to employ one bonus action per turn depending on the situation and a player's abilities. Not every action in the game may require a roll of the dice. For instance, if your character is looking for an item and you ask the DM if the character can look inside a chest, this is a simple action that shouldn't require a dice roll. It's up to your DM to decide when you need to do such a roll or ability check and then to tell you the outcome based on your roll. Different actions will require different kinds of ability checks, depending on the particular trait or ability that action would normally employ. For example, looking for trapdoors or secret rooms may require an intelligence check to search for them, whereas noticing subtle tells while speaking to an NPC may require a perception check. D&D can be simplified into a loop of 3 very simple steps. First, the Dungeon Master describes the environment the characters are in. Second, the players react to the environment and decide what they want to do. The success of their actions are decided by the roll of the dice. And third, the Dungeon Master defines the success or failure of the action attempted by the player and narrates the subsequent outcome. You then simply go back to step 1 and repeat. If you failed in an attempt to do something, you may choose to try again. Or you may choose to get more information out of the DM and approach the obstacle differently. Remember, it may be a lot easier to sneak around a dragon than to try and slay it. We hope this video helped you get the basic gameplay structure of the game. Please check out the resources in the description below to find all the necessary components to help you start out. Share this video with your squad, get a video call set up, and escape into a fantastical land